Hello, and welcome to our presentation on the angle rules in trigonometry. Today we will look at two scenarios involving angle measures. The first scenario involves a triangle, where you have three angles in a triangle. All three of these angles must have a sum of 180 degrees. The value of this is that you can determine the measure of an unknown angle when you know the measures of the other two. For example, if this angle here, let's say, is 70 degrees in measure, and up here at angle B, this angle is 60 degrees in measure, you can then find the measure of angle C by doing a little bit of algebra. So angle A is 70 degrees, added with angle B, which is 60 degrees, plus C, and that is equal to 180 degrees. 70 and 60 have a sum total of 130. To solve this equation, we're going to subtract 130 from each side, so I'll do that. And our result here is that angle C is equal to 50 degrees. So the measure of angle C in the triangle is 50 degrees. Another scenario that we commonly get involved with involves parallel lines. Now at this moment, we don't have any lines that are parallel. However, let's label this line 1 and that line 2. And then let's make a statement that says L1 is parallel to L2. Now that opens up many scenarios involving the angle measures that you see in this diagram. Now, we did not need to know the parallel situation to have angles 1 and 2. These two angles lie on a straight line where they are cut by this line here. In that case, we know that angle 1 and angle 2 must add up to 180. Now there are several rules involving angle measures. In this cluster of four angles here, angle 1, and I'm going to label this angle down here as angle 3. Angle 1 and angle 3 are congruent because they are known as vertical angles. They are known as vertical angles. Anytime you have a cluster like this, an angle that's across from the other on the opposite side, these are called vertical angles and they are congruent. And the same thing is true with angle 2 and this angle here. Let's call this angle 4. So angle 2 and angle 4 are congruent. Now that's extremely important. Now, the importance of knowing that line 1 and line 2 are parallel will give us the values of the angles over here. Now I'm going to label these with 5, 6, 7, and 8. Angle 5 is congruent to angle 1. You can look at it and see that it's of similar size. When you have this statement that line 1 is parallel to line 2, that means that angle 5 is going to be congruent with angle 1. It also means that angle 7 is congruent with angle 1. Angle 7 is congruent to 5 because they are vertical angles. 5 is congruent to 1 because they are corresponding angles, meaning that they're located in the same position within the cluster. Now you also have that angle 6 is congruent to angle 2. They are also corresponding angles, and angle 8 is congruent to angle 6 and angle 2 and angle 4. So we have established a rule that gives us any of these angles, and all we have to do is know one of the angles. So let's use this to figure out some angle measures down here. And let's start off by saying that this angle that is right here, let's say that this angle is 70 degrees. Knowing that angle, I can find all of the unknown angles that I have here. 70 has to add with this angle to be 180. So this angle is 110 degrees. This angle here is 70 because it also adds with 110 to be 180 degrees. And this angle over here is 110 because 70 and 110 add up to 180 degrees. So that's all involving these. We also know that this is congruent to this because they're vertical angles, and this is congruent to this because they are vertical angles. Now we also have this cluster over here with the lines being parallel, with that being 70, this is 70 degrees. This is 110. This is 70 degrees, and this is 110. So by knowing one angle measure, we can find the measure of all of the angles in these clusters. And that concludes this presentation for angle rules in trigonometry.